So let's talk a bit about the band itself, because the Dead South has been called a lot of names like bluegrass or folk or alternative country or western, right? But if you have to invent a name for a genre just to confuse people, what will you choose?
Just confuse people. Well, one good name that I've heard that's been thrown out is like thrash grass a little bit or like blackgrass a little bit,
Yeah,
which is kind of cool because again, like all those names, yes, we take a little bit from that, but also we have a little bit of punk and metal in us too. So that kind of really kind of rounds it out as to something that's, it's not obvious what that might mean, but also when you listen, you're like, okay, I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So about these genres that I mentioned, like bluegrass, country, western, they all root in tradition. But even though you are navigating through those genres, it feels like the music you do is a bit rebellious, right? Do you feel a bit outlawed between all these bands that play similar music?
That's a awesome question. Um, I suppose in a way, yes, we are outlaws for sure. Or else black sheep, as some might consider us as well. We can because of all the different kind of music that we pull in, we are
Yeah,
able to play different festivals. So,
right,
we've played at metal festivals and punk festivals and country festivals and bluegrass festivals, but we're never quite right. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. And even though also the music that you do is it has something in common that is like it doesn't try to reinvent itself every year. Like in music industry this year, it feels like you have to reinvent yourself like from time to time just to stay in times what is going on, right? But do you feel like what you do, staying and doing the same, it feels a bit risky
Good
business wise
question.
for music industry, right?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it's just kind of what we like to do. So it probably is risky in a way, but I mean, if we started trying to do other things to sound different, to be more in the times, then we wouldn't really be being ourselves. And then
Hmm.
that itself would be risky because then we wouldn't be enjoying it. And then the product would probably suffer as well, you know.
Right. Good. And if we analyze the lyrics, you sing about, murder ballads, ghosts, betrayal, right? Do you feel weird to sing those songs with a smile on your face about those themes?
Actually, I don't know why, but it's quite natural to sing those with a smile on my face. Sounds a little sadistic or something, but no, I don't know. I think I'm able to see, obviously understand that situations are dark and heavy, but I can also find humor and light in them as well.
Hmm.
Because these things are, have happened, do happen, but it's still just a telling, but I can do
Right.
it with a smile. Yeah.
Good, good. And in all these years, you build this community called the Good Company, right? The the Dead South fans. So, which is the weirdest place that you found this community? Like you went to play and you say, "No way, there is a good company community here."
Anywhere. Well, it's that thing where, we come from Saskatchewan in Canada. It's like that's our province, which
Yeah.
nobody's heard of really. And we come
Hmm.
from a city called Regina, which is not a huge city, but it is, it's like 230,000 people, I think. And that's become there in the last few years. It was much smaller before. So the fact that anyone outside of, our province knew who we were was huge. And then let alone, going to different countries around the world. So I think one of the bigger ones, was when we started going to places in Europe, and there was people that were part of
Hmm.
this community. And now we go to Australia, and there's people that are part of this community across the world, and it's just always mind blowing. So I have to say all of it's quite weird for us, yeah, in a good way,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great. Talking about the weird, people going to the shows dressed as you guys. Do you feel like a cult leader some sort of way?
I've never thought about it like that, but now I might. No, it's actually awesome. I love when people come dressed up because it was never expected, but then when people started doing it, it was awesome. But the better part is sometimes if we're out for a bite to eat before the show and we're not dressed up, there'll be four guys dressed up like us, and people will think that they're us. So then people will be taking pictures with those guys and not even know that we're there. It's awesome.
Okay, so if the good company build their own country, which song will be their anthem, and which is gonna be the weirdest law on that country?
Oh man, I'm probably gonna say Banjo Odyssey is gonna be their song for the country. And weirdest law. Oof. Oh man, it's probably gonna be something about loving your cousins. I'm guessing. I don't know. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a great question.
Right. So you have this song that is like your hit song, has millions of streams and views and everything in Hell being good company, right? So was there any other song that when you wrote that song and you were recording that song that you thought this is gonna be the hit?
Like during that same time.
Yeah, or at the same time or in another session or another album. Did you have that feeling with other song, but that song didn't make as big as in Hell?
Not really. I mean, we've like even when we wrote In Hell, we didn't think In Hell would be a big
Mm,
hit. We thought maybe something closer to like Honey You, where it's a lot more accessible, or you know, um, yeah, something like that along those lines would probably be more, I don't know, sought out. But it actually ends up being the songs that we don't expect. Like if we look at some of our more popular songs, or even playing at shows, it's always like obviously In Hell, but then like Banjo Odyssey is a big one. Broken Cowboy, which it's like we go and everyone knows the words, but had no idea that anyone would latch onto that or know the words at all. It's just a slow, long song.
yeah,
So yeah, it's always just I guess there's always ones that you assume might be hit a little harder, and then it's always the sneaky ones that come up.
right. Okay. So we thought about dark themes before singing with a smile. Is there any story or theme that is a red flag for you that you wouldn't write a song about that?
I don't think so. I mean, I have a harder time writing like just a true love story that's really sappy. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that I wouldn't, it's just that I'm not as good at doing it. It doesn't seem to come as natural to me. Um, I mean, but off the top of my head, there's nothing I can think of that, is red line, red tape that maybe if it was really political, we tend to stay away from politics in our music writing just to, you know, kind of be a very neutral, it's we're here to forget your other things and just come and hang out for a bit. So
Right.
maybe something like that.
Great, great. So, you're coming to Spain again at the end of the month. You had 3 dates here, right? It's not the first time for you guys in Spain. So I want to ask, what's the most bizarre uh moment that you have playing here, or memorable at least?
Memorable. I mean, definitely some memorable times are eating some wicked paella and just like enjoying the weather because it was really cold back at home when we were there. But I'd say the most bizarre thing for us, it's only bizarre because we're not used to it, is that siesta time.
Hmm.
And it's kind of a little bit right before showtime, right when we want to go out to eat dinner. A lot of
Hmm.
the restaurants are closed. Everyone's taking, and then they open up kind of right when we have to go back. So that was a challenging one for us because we weren't used to it. We weren't ready for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if you have to write a song, a dead south song inspired by Spain, it will be about siesta or it will be about something else.
I'm sure siesta would be included for sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, Spanish audiences, also Latin American audiences, are known for being very passionate, very loud, right? Very enthusiastic. So it must be feel weird for an acoustic band having that kind of response, at least live, right? It does it feel weird in in some places in the world that you have like different audiences? Like, I don't know, if you go to Germany, maybe they are more calm, and if you go to Spain, they're more like, wow, no.
Absolutely. We started touring Germany in 2014, and
Hmm.
prior to that, we had only played, loud, drunken bars where we came come from. So
Right.
we went from all of this really loud, drunken talking, screaming, hooting, hollering to very polite, clap between songs, but then quiet down in between. So we kind of were not sure if we weren't sure if they liked us because we weren't used to that calmness that you're talking about. So I think that the shock actually came over with the calmness for sure. But yeah, it still is kind of weird sometimes because yeah, we'll play a show in Germany and then we'll go to Spain, and Spain will be really rambunctious and fun. So it's always different. Yeah, and it really it's challenging sometimes because as you tour, especially as you get like further along in the tour, you start to get more tired and you're kind of hoping for the rambunctious crowds because then you're going to feed off each other's energy. So if you get a calm one and you're tired that day, it's kind of tough to really muster the energy to give it all you got. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, good. For people who is not a musician and doesn't know about the stress of touring, normally for the in the idea that everything is so romantic, okay? You're a band, you go to see the world, play in different cities around the globe, right? But not it's not always that good, So what's the worst thing about touring for you at least?
Well, I can give you a few things. Um, One of the worst things is when your stuff doesn't show up when we're getting off a plane. Like your
Mhm.
instruments get left behind or your clothes or equipment. That's a bad one. Second one, I would say, is because you're gone so often, you miss a lot of your friends and family's important
Mm,
events like birthdays, sometimes even funerals, weddings. That's a tough one. You're watching your kids grow up, especially at a young age.
yeah,
Like my bandmates are going through that right now, where their kids are at a pivotal moment where if you miss 3 weeks, that kid will change so much in 3 weeks. So I
yeah,
think things like that are definitely the stress, the biggest stresses. Other than that, it's like yeah, sometimes you have a tough time sleeping and it's a little exhausting, but that's not the worst part at all. That's just part of the job, you know.
yeah.
And then you counter that with eating cool food and having nice drinks in places and seeing new scenery. So.
Good, good. So when you are in a band, your partners are not just your partners, they're not just musicians, they are your friends, right? You're
Mhm.
like a family. So after all this time, I think you can answer this with a smile as well. Um, what is the most ridiculous idea someone in the band came to you and say, okay, I have an idea for a song, and you thought this is totally ridiculous?
That's a good question. I don't know if anyone's come with too ridiculous of a song idea. Sometimes like the a strong song structure will be played and you're like, "Oh, I don't know about that song structure," but usually the lyrical content is fine. It's probably me that they think that about more because I write most of the lyrics a lot of times. So sometimes they're probably like, "What the hell's this guy thinking?" But I mean, in the beginning, like writing songs like Banjo Odyssey, which are, tongue in cheek about being in love with your cousin, you know, uh, I think that ideas like that, when we were younger, they were easier to play with. Whereas, now I think if that came to the table, uh, someone might be like, oh, come on, you know, we can do better than that. Or like, you're older than that now or something, more mature. So, yeah.
Okay, right. So imagine that there is no death out, okay? And you go back in time 50 years, 150 years in time, back in time. All right, you are in the Wild West now. what is gonna be your profession? What are you gonna be? Are you gonna be a cowboy? Are you gonna be what do you think you will be?
I mean, odds are, based on my family history, I would be on a farm for sure.
On a farm.
Yeah.
Good.
And whatever that means, like some of them were cowboys, some of them were just straight farmers. Um, and some took trades, but yeah, probably doing something with my hands for sure.
Good. Great.
Yeah,
Great. Well, just to finish the interview, as you say, if hell is really where the good company is, for sure there are bands playing there, right?
gotta be.
So besides the Dead South, which bands do you think will be playing in hell?
In hell, oh, we got Amigo the Devil, a buddy of ours. We got probably the Devil Makes Three. I mean, it's just they got to be down there. I'm thinking probably, like the Doors are going to be down there with us. Um, who else? Probably some Waylon Jennings down there. Probably hmm, I think a lot of bands are going to be playing in hell with us. That's for sure.
You can
Yeah.
do like a festival there, right?
Oh, huge festival, never ending festival. That's for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time.